Hello everybody, welcome to the I Am IT Geek YouTube channel. My name is Shabaz, as ever, I am the IT Geek. We are heavily into the SC300 exam prep series. I'm losing count if I want. I think this is episode 17 potentially, 16, 17. You'll be able to see in the description, to be fair. For those living in the UK, you'll know we're going for a massive heat wave at the moment. So it's been very uncomfortable recording this at the moment. My headphones are not comfortable at all, but the show must go on. You probably notice again, Dwayne's still not with me. I believe this is the last episode where we're not recording together, so we should be back recording. Just scheduling conflicts on my side, unfortunately. But Dwayne has been kind enough to record the demos still, so there will be a demo after I'm done yabbering on. Today we're going to be looking at, we're on the final piece of conditional access policies. So let's get started, shall we? So again, I don't need to introduce myself and Dwayne, you know who we are by now, and I'm going to do reintroductions at the beginning of each module. So for now, you have to look back if you don't know who we are. I hope you know who we are by now. We're looking at still on module 2, towards the back end of module 2, or at least halfway. And this is implementing an authentication and access management solution. Okay, so specifically today, let's take a look at what we're going to be talking about. As I said, this is the third part of the plan, implement, and manage conditional access topic. So we're going to be looking at implementing continuous access evaluation. We're going to then talk about creating a conditional access policy from a template. We're not actually going to talk about it, we're actually going to see it. And Dwayne's going to do that demo for us. So let's start by looking at or talking about implementing continuous access evaluation. So again, gonna just touch on some of the benefits first of all. So just before we get into, got a bit of a diagram I wanted to go through as normal. So first one is user termination or password change reset. So this is where user session revocation will be enforced in real time. So revoking access essentially, it can be enforced in real time. So let's talk about network location change. So conditional access location policies will be enforced in real time. And again, same as the user termination, it's all in real time, which is a real benefit of implementing continuous access evaluations. The final sort of benefit is that sort of token export to a device, to outside the trusted network. This can be prevented with conditional access location policies. So again, another benefit of implementing continuous access evaluations. So this is where I just wanted to do a bit of a process flow of evaluation and revocation. Okay, so evaluating and revoking sort of the process flow. So we've got three areas. We've got a 0 AD at the top. We've got sort of the user and the device on the left hand side, and then we've actually got our resource identity provider on the right hand side. So what first happens is a continuous access evaluation, or CAE. Capable client presents credentials, or a refresh token to Azure AD, asking for access and asking for access token for some resources. Okay, so that's that refresh token request. Then number 2, what happens is an access token is returned along with the artifacts to the client. Okay, so that first bit of the client asking for that token and getting the token back happens. Okay, then what happens is, before the user accesses that, an administrator explicitly revokes all refresh tokens for the user. A revocation event will be sent to the resource provider from Azure AD. Okay, so that's that third step there. The event is, the administrator explicitly revokes all access. So if we look at step 4, so an access token is presented to the resource provider by the user. So the resource provider evaluates the validity of the token and checks whether if there's any, if it needs to revoke it or not. The resource provider uses the information to decide to grant access or to not grant access. Okay, so that's step 4. And then in the 5th step, the token is rejected. So in the case of a diagram, the resource provider denies access and sends it's called a 401 plus claim challenge back to the client. So that again, they're revoking that. Oops, sorry. And what happens is that sort of CEA capable client understands the 401 claim challenge. It bypasses the cache and goes back to step 1 and does it all again, where it sends that refresh token along with the claim challenge back to the Azure AD. And Azure AD will reevaluate that sort of request and the condition and prompt the user to re-authenticate in this case, okay? So this is where I'd normally talk about creating conditional access policies from a template, but again, it's one of those topics where I think it's just probably better off looking at going straight into the demo. So I am going to actually hand over to Dwayne to actually, because I think you'll get better insight looking at, seeing Dwayne's demo and lab rather than, because again, it's more of a hands-on experience kind of thing. So over to you, Dwayne.
Thank you, Shabaz, and welcome back, everybody, to our demo. In this demo, we are going to show how you can use the templates within conditional access policies to create a new policy. So if you aren't comfortable yet with creating policies on your own, you can use these templates to very easily that'll guide you through creating those policies. So you can see we have couple of different builds that you can do, identity-based policies or device-based policies. We're going to keep it on identity-based for now, and then you can see in here different types of policies are shown. We have various policies in here for each of these, securing registration, and you can see if you go down the naming, it helps you with the naming of your policy. I already created one in a previous demo on legacy authentication, so I'm not going to do that one. Let's do require multi-factor authentication for guest access. So we're going to do that there and select. Actually, I'm going to use this one, the Azure Management. And we can see for any Azure resources, we're going to require multi-factor authentication. And again, it gives it a naming. You can see it gives you a naming convention already. We're going to set it, like I said, good best practice to set it to report only first. We're going to, and you can see it just says all users exclude current users. So you can, it helps you out on the front end here by excluding you as the person creating the policy from this policy, so you don't accidentally lock yourself out. And we're going to create this policy. So let's do that. And that's successfully created. See that one pop up here in a moment, and there we go. So if we go into here, we can do certain levels of editing as well. If we want to change this to a different group or anything like that, we can make those changes. We're not stuck in that template itself. We can make adjustments to that template if we want to, but it just gives us a good start. If we want to go into what if here, and let's see what we can do. We've got all users except for my current user, so I'm going to just select the user in here. I'll select this admin. And let's see here. And we're going to go. Let's see what we have for Azure, because it's Azure resources. And let's select Microsoft Azure Management. And don't need to select any devices. And let's select what if and see what happens here. And there we go. There it is coming up for require multi-factor authentication for our Azure Management, because we selected an Azure resource. If I go back here and make an adjustment to this app, let's remove this here, and let's see what it does with GitHub Enterprise. And we go and do what if again, that policy goes away. So any of the Azure policies that are in there, any of the Azure resources that are in there should pop up that policy will apply. any of the other applications, it should not apply. So that is how, again, to test a policy, and how you can use the templates then to help you get started on your policies. One of the things that you can note here is they put a numbering convention in front of their policies as well within the templates. That might be a good practice for you to implement if you're in a large enterprise that's going to have a lot of policies. It's going to be much more helpful for you to kind of put it in a numbering convention based on the type of policy, maybe ID 001, DV for device, be a little creative there. These are just saying, it's got conditional access 003, conditional access 006 for the template. So, I haven't done that in terms of naming, in terms of my naming convention, but I've tried to be descriptive in some places. I've tried to get a little bit better with that when I do my demos as well, so that we know what's going on within there, and anybody that comes in behind me does as well. So that ends our demo on creating a conditional access policy with a template. Thank you very much, and back to you, Shabaz.
Thanks, Dwayne. Again, another great demo, kind of slash lab. And again, I just feel like seeing the lab of creating a conditional access policy from a template was more beneficial than me rambling on for 10 minutes about it. Because I think the message will come across better, and I hope people feel that way as well. If you don't, obviously let me know if you think I'm not covering enough theory or we're not covering enough labs on demos. Please do let me know. I'd be more than happy to add some towards the end. So that brings then to the conditional access, implementing and administrating and managing sort of topic. We are 2 episodes away from the end of module 2, so that will be all about implementing a zero-AD identity protection services. So that's a 2-parter. So and I think me and Dwayne are going back together for that one. So please do keep an eye out for that. I believe those will be dropping on Friday. So again, thank you very much everybody for watching. Thank you for the support. Keep on liking, commenting, and obviously subscribing, please, very important. All our details of our socials and descriptions, our Twitters, our LinkedIn. A link to Dwayne's book, most important thing, is in the description as well. By all means, please go out and buy that. It's a great book. I technically authored it, and it'd be great for you to follow the book and the series at the same time, because they'll really complement each other. Obviously we can only a certain amount we can cover, and we try to cover things as much detail as possible in sort of 15-20 minutes, not trying to overraw you too much. But then the book will complement that a lot more, get a bit more detail. And also a link to the GitHub labs as well in the description. Follow those along as you do with Dwayne. So thank you everybody for watching, and up until next time, thank you and goodbye.